Imagine being told that real physical change is still possible, not just at 60, but even at 70 or 80 years old. Most people believe that after a certain age, the body can only decline. That stiffness is permanent. That weakness is inevitable. But here's what actually happens. The body doesn't stop responding because of age. It stops responding because it stops receiving the right kind of stimulus. After 60, the rules change. The body no longer responds well to random movement, fast exercises, or routines designed for younger people, but it responds extremely well to controlled, purposeful exercises that rebuild strength, balance, and coordination without stressing the joints. Surgeons and rehabilitation specialists see this every day. Older adults who regain strength, posture, and confidence not by pushing harder, but by training smarter. What most people don't realize is that muscle, bone, and the nervous system remain adaptable for life. Even in your 70s or 80s, muscles can grow stronger, balance can improve, and movement can feel easier again. The key is choosing exercises that match how the aging body works. Exercises that teach the body how to support itself, not exhaust itself. You'll notice that the most transformative exercises after 60 often look simple. They don't involve jumping heavy weights or getting down on the floor. Instead, they focus on holding strength, controlling movement, and engaging the muscles that protect your joints. These exercises work with the body, not against it. And because they feel safe, people actually stick with them. Consistency is what creates transformation. Another important truth is that fear limits progress more than age. Fear of falling, fear of pain, fear of injury. When fear is present, the body holds back, muscles don't fully engage, balance reactions slow down. The exercises in this video are designed to remove that fear. They allow you to feel supported while rebuilding real strength. When fear goes down, confidence goes up. And confidence changes how the body moves. These 5 exercises target the areas that determine independence after 60, the legs that help you stand and walk, the hips that stabilize your body, the core that protects your spine, the posture that keeps you balanced, and the coordination that prevents falls. Walking alone does not train these systems. These exercises do. As you go through them, imagine what it would feel like to move without hesitation, to stand up without effort, to feel steady when turning or reaching, to trust your body again. That sense of control is what transforms the body at any age. This video is not about becoming younger. It's about becoming stronger, steadier, and more capable with the body you have now. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80, the right exercises can change how you move, how you feel, and how confidently you live your daily life. Imagine reaching a point in life where you're told that change is no longer possible, that after 60 or 70 or certainly 80, the body can only decline. This belief is widespread, but it's not rooted in how the human body actually works. From a medical and rehabilitation perspective, the body never loses its ability to adapt. What it loses is exposure to the right kind of stimulus. Strength, balance, and confidence don't disappear because of age alone. They fade when the body stops being challenged in ways it understands. Muscle tissue remains adaptable for life. Even in advanced age, muscles respond to resistance by becoming stronger. The nervous system, which controls coordination and balance, also remains plastic. It continues to learn and refine movement patterns as long as it's given clear, consistent input. Bone responds to load, joints respond to alignment and support. None of these systems have an expiration date. What changes after 60 is tolerance. The body no longer responds well to high impact, fast, or chaotic movement, but it responds extremely well to controlled, purposeful work. Surgeons and rehabilitation specialists see this every day. Older adults who regain strength they thought was gone. People in their 70s standing up more easily than they did in their early 60s. Individuals in their 80s improving balance and posture after years of decline. These changes are not miracles. They are biological responses to the right stimulus. When muscles are asked to engage safely, they do. When balance is challenged gradually, it improves. When posture is supported, the body reorganizes itself. One of the biggest misconceptions is that exercise must be intense to be effective. After 60, intensity often works against progress. It increases fear, stress, and joint strain. The body interprets that as a threat, not a growth signal. But when exercises are slow, controlled, and stable, the nervous system feels safe enough to allow adaptation. Muscles engage fully. Balance reactions sharpen. Confidence returns. This is when transformation begins. You'll notice that older adults who improve often describe feeling more in control rather than more tired. Movements that once required effort become automatic again. Standing feels easier. Walking feels steadier. Turning no longer causes hesitation. These are signs that the nervous system has relearned how to coordinate the body. This coordination is just as important as muscle strength, and it improves at any age when trained correctly. Another important factor is confidence. Physical capability and confidence are deeply connected. When the body feels capable, the mind stops anticipating failure. Fear decreases. Muscles engage more fully. Balance reactions speed up. This creates a positive feedback loop. The body moves better because it feels safer, and it feels safer because it moves better. Age does not break this loop. Inactivity does. The idea that transformation stops at a certain age is often reinforced by comparison to younger bodies. But the goal after 60 is not to move like a 30-year-old. It's to move better than yesterday, to regain abilities that were lost due to inactivity, fear, or improper training. When exercises are chosen correctly, improvement can happen quickly, even after years of decline. What matters most is matching the stimulus to the body's current needs. After 60, the body needs support, control, and clear signals of strength. When it receives those signals consistently, it responds. Muscles wake up. Balance improves. Posture reorganizes. Confidence grows. These changes don't require extreme effort. They require the right approach. This is why people in their 70s and 80s can still transform their bodies, not by chasing youth, but by restoring function. The body doesn't measure age, it measures demand. And when demand is appropriate, safe, and consistent, adaptation remains possible for life. After 60, the body no longer responds well to randomness. Fast movements, high repetitions, and routines designed for younger bodies often create more stress than benefit. This doesn't mean the body can't improve. It means it needs a different conversation. Controlled, purposeful exercises speak the language of the aging body. They provide clear signals without overwhelming the joints or the nervous system, and that clarity is what allows real progress to happen. As we age, recovery slows and tolerance to impact decreases. The joints lose some of their natural cushioning. Reaction time changes. The nervous system becomes more cautious. When exercises are rushed or unpredictable, the body interprets them as threats. Muscles tighten instead of engaging fully. Breathing becomes shallow. Balance reactions hesitate. Even if movement is happening, the body is not learning. It is protecting itself. Purposeful exercises remove this barrier. Slow, controlled movements give the nervous system time to understand what is happening. There is no surprise, no sudden load, no loss of control. This sense of predictability allows muscles to activate properly. Instead of bracing, the body cooperates. Strength develops where it is needed, not where it is forced. Another important factor is joint health. After 60, joints depend more on muscles for protection. Fast or uncontrolled movement often bypasses muscular support and transfers force directly into the joints. This increases discomfort and discourages consistency. Controlled exercises keep tension in the muscles where it belongs. The joints move within safe ranges, guided by strength rather than momentum. This reduces pain and builds trust in movement again. You'll notice that when exercises are controlled, posture improves automatically. The spine aligns. The pelvis stabilizes. The shoulders settle. This alignment allows muscles to share the workload instead of overloading one area. Movement becomes efficient rather than exhausting. Efficiency matters more than intensity at this stage of life. Controlled exercises also improve balance in a way fast movement cannot. Balance is not just about strength. It's about timing, coordination, and awareness. Slow, purposeful movements allow the brain to map the body's position in space. This improves proprioception, the sense that tells you where your body is without looking. Better proprioception leads to faster, more accurate balance corrections, which is one of the most important protections against falls. Another advantage is emotional response. Many older adults associate exercise with discomfort or fear. Purposeful exercises feel achievable. They don't demand perfection or speed. This lowers anxiety and increases consistency. When people feel capable, they show up more often. And consistency is what drives long-term change, not occasional intensity. Surgeons and rehabilitation specialists rely on controlled exercises because they rebuild function without risk. They are used after joint replacements, spinal procedures, and injury recovery for a reason. They restore strength and coordination while protecting healing tissues. The same principles apply to aging bodies that want to stay independent. Safety allows effort. Effort allows adaptation. It's also important to understand that purposeful does not mean easy. Holding a controlled position challenges muscles deeply. It trains endurance, stability, and coordination simultaneously. These challenges are subtle but powerful. They stimulate muscle fibers that support joints and posture, which are often neglected by faster movements. When exercises are purposeful, progress becomes measurable in daily life. Standing up feels easier. Turning feels smoother. Walking feels more confident. These changes reinforce the value of the routine, making it easier to continue. The body begins to expect strength instead of weakness. After 60, success is not defined by how hard you push. It's defined by how well you communicate with your body. Controlled, purposeful exercises create that communication. They meet the body where it is and guide it forward without force. This is why they outperform fast or random movement, and why they remain effective even into the 70s and 80s. One of the most underestimated barriers to physical transformation after 60 is fear. Fear doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. A hesitation before standing up, a cautious step when turning, a tendency to hold on to furniture while moving around the house. These small behaviors signal something important. The nervous system no longer fully trusts the body. And when trust is missing, strength and balance cannot fully express themselves. Fear directly changes how muscles behave. When the brain perceives risk, it limits muscle activation to protect the body. Movements become stiff and guarded. Breathing becomes shallow. Reaction speed slows. Even if a person is physically capable, fear prevents them from using that capability. Over time, this creates a gap between what the body could do and what it actually does. Many older adults stop progressing not because they are weak, but because their exercises constantly trigger caution. Fast movements, unstable positions, or painful experiences teach the nervous system to stay alert. The body responds by tightening and reducing range of motion. This protective response feels like stiffness or weakness, but it is actually inhibition. Strength is being held back, not lost. Exercises that feel safe reverse this pattern. When the body feels supported, the nervous system allows muscles to engage more fully. Balance reactions become quicker. Movements feel smoother. Confidence grows. This is why fear must be addressed before strength can truly return. Without safety, the body never fully commits. You'll notice that when fear decreases, posture changes. People stand taller without trying. Steps become more natural. Movements feel less rushed. These changes are signs that the nervous system has shifted from protection to performance. This shift is essential for transformation at any age. Fear also affects consistency. If exercise feels intimidating, people avoid it. Missed days turn into missed weeks. Strength fades not because the body can't improve, but because the routine never becomes consistent. Safe, approachable exercises remove this obstacle. When people feel confident, they show up. And showing up regularly is what allows the body to adapt. Another important point is that fear often comes from previous injuries or falls. A single bad experience can change how someone moves for years. Exercises that rebuild trust must respect this history. Slow, supported movements allow the body to relearn stability without triggering old protective patterns. This retraining of trust is just as important as rebuilding muscle. Balance is especially sensitive to fear. When people are afraid of falling, they often stiffen their legs and widen their stance. This feels safer, but it actually reduces adaptability. The body becomes slower to respond to changes in position. Safe balance training teaches the nervous system that movement can be controlled. Over time, reactions become quicker and more precise. From a clinical perspective, reducing fear is often the turning point in recovery. Once fear decreases, progress accelerates. Strength improves faster. Coordination sharpens. Movement becomes fluid again. The body stops fighting itself. It's also worth noting that fear is not a personal failure. It is a biological response. The brain's job is to protect the body. When it perceives risk, it acts accordingly. The goal of exercise after 60 is not to override this system, but to work with it. By choosing exercises that feel safe and controlled, you allow the nervous system to relax and adapt. When fear is removed, the body reveals its true capacity. Muscles engage fully. Balance improves naturally. Confidence returns. This is why transformation after 60 depends as much on psychology as it does on physiology. The body cannot change if it does not feel safe enough to try. True transformation after 60 does not come from training isolated muscles. It comes from restoring the systems that allow the body to function as a whole. Independence depends on a specific set of physical abilities that often decline quietly with age. These abilities include leg strength to stand and walk, hip stability to control movement, core support to protect the spine, posture to maintain balance, and coordination to react quickly when something unexpected happens. When these systems weaken, everyday life becomes harder, even if a person stays active. Leg strength is foundational. The legs are responsible for lifting the body against gravity, standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, stepping over obstacles. These movements require strength, not endurance. Many people walk regularly yet struggle with these tasks because walking does not load the legs enough to maintain strength. Exercises that challenge the legs in controlled positions rebuild the capacity to support body weight confidently. Hip stability is equally important. The hips act as the bridge between the upper and lower body. When they are stable, movement feels smooth and controlled. When they are weak, the body compensates by overusing the knees or lower back. This leads to pain and imbalance. Training hip stability restores alignment and reduces strain throughout the body, making movement safer and more efficient. Core support is often misunderstood. It is not about visible abdominal muscles. It is about deep muscles that stabilize the spine and pelvis. These muscles activate before movement begins, preparing the body to handle load. When core support is weak, the spine absorbs forces it shouldn't. Balance reactions slow. Posture collapses. Exercises that train the core in stable positions rebuild this protective system without stressing the back. Posture ties everything together. Upright posture keeps the body's center of gravity aligned over the feet. This alignment reduces joint stress and improves balance. Poor posture shifts weight forward or unevenly, increasing the risk of falls. Training posture through controlled exercises teaches the body how to hold itself efficiently during both movement and stillness. Coordination is the final piece. Coordination allows muscles to work together at the right time and intensity. It determines how quickly the body responds to changes in position. Walking on a flat surface requires little coordination. Real life does not. Uneven ground, sudden turns, reaching while standing. These situations demand coordinated responses. Exercises that challenge stability and control rebuild this ability. These systems are interconnected. Strength without stability increases injury risk. Stability without coordination limits movement. Posture without strength cannot be maintained. Effective exercises address all of them together. This is why certain exercises feel transformative. They don't just target one area, they restore how the body works as a unit. When these systems improve, everyday life changes in noticeable ways. Standing becomes easier, walking feels steadier, turning feels controlled instead of rushed. The body moves with confidence rather than caution. These changes reduce fatigue and increase independence, allowing people to engage more fully in daily activities. It's important to understand that independence is not about performance. It's about reliability, the ability to trust the body to respond when needed. Exercises that train the systems protecting independence create this reliability. They reduce the mental load of movement. People stop thinking about how to move and start moving naturally again. Many older adults believe that decline is inevitable because they focus on isolated symptoms, stiffness, weakness, pain. But these symptoms often reflect system level changes. When the underlying systems are retrained, symptoms improve. Strength returns. Balance sharpens. Posture stabilizes. Confidence grows. This is why the most transformative exercises after 60 are those that rebuild the systems protecting independence. They don't chase exhaustion. They restore function, and function is what allows people to live fully, safely, and confidently at any age. The final piece that determines whether change actually happens after 60 is consistency, not motivation, not intensity, consistency. The body adapts to what it experiences repeatedly. Occasional effort creates fatigue, but repeated, appropriate effort creates transformation. This is why the right exercises matter so much. When exercises feel safe, manageable, and effective, people are far more likely to practice them regularly. And regular practice is what allows the body to change even at 70 or 80. Many older adults have tried exercise programs that promised results but delivered discomfort. Fast routines, complicated movements, or exercises that cause pain taught the body and mind that exercise is something to avoid. Over time, this creates resistance. Even when people want to move, they hesitate. Consistency disappears. Strength fades not because the body cannot improve, but because the routine never becomes sustainable. Simple, chosen exercises remove this barrier. They fit naturally into daily life. They don't require special equipment, travel, or recovery days. They don't demand pushing through pain. This simplicity lowers the threshold to start and removes excuses to stop. When something feels achievable, it becomes repeatable. And repetition is what reshapes the body. Consistency also trains the nervous system. Each time a movement is repeated, the brain refines its control. Balance reactions become quicker. Muscles activate more efficiently. Movements require less conscious effort. This neurological adaptation is just as important as muscle strength. It is what allows older adults to move confidently without thinking about every step. Another reason consistency matters is that aging bodies respond better to frequent, moderate stimulus than to occasional intense effort. Muscles strengthen gradually. Tendons adapt. Joints become more supported. These changes require time under tension, not bursts of exhaustion. Daily or near daily practice provides this steady signal. Over weeks and months, small improvements accumulate into noticeable change. You'll notice that people who stay consistent often describe feeling different before they look different. Movements feel smoother. Balance feels steadier. Getting up feels easier. These internal changes reinforce the habit. When people feel progress, they are more likely to continue. This positive feedback loop is what sustains long-term improvement. Consistency also builds confidence. When the body responds predictably, fear decreases. People stop worrying about injury or instability. This confidence changes how they move throughout the day. They stand up more often. They move with less hesitation. They engage their muscles naturally. Daily life becomes part of the training process. It's important to recognize that consistency does not require perfection. Missing a day does not undo progress. What matters is returning to the routine without judgment. The body responds to overall patterns, not isolated lapses. This mindset reduces stress and makes long-term adherence possible. At any age, the body is shaped by habits. After 60, habits become even more influential because recovery and tolerance change. The right habits protect joints, maintain strength, and preserve independence. The wrong habits reinforce weakness and caution. Choosing exercises that can be practiced consistently is one of the most powerful decisions an older adult can make. Even into the 80s, consistent practice leads to measurable improvements. Strength increases, balance sharpens, posture stabilizes, confidence returns. These changes may not happen overnight, but they happen reliably when the body is given the right signal repeatedly. Transformation after 60 is not about chasing youth. It's about restoring capability. The body does not need extreme demands to change. It needs clear, consistent input. When exercises are safe, purposeful, and practiced regularly, the body responds regardless of age.